How's everyone doing today? My name is Tyler Boyer from NGSCC Sports. This is Bet with the Boys, our weekly podcast we do, going through all NFL spreads. This is my co-host Joe Germani and Tyler Bean. How's everyone doing today?
Fantastic.
Got some picks ready, some winners, showing with some money.
Oh, yeah.
You see behind Joe, we got a new sign set up. Find a better placement for last minute edition, but we're working on the studio set up here. All right, so just get you guys going. Just give a recap of our other shows going on here at NGSC Sports. On Tuesdays, we have our weekly flagship show, which is myself, Ralph Garcia, and Shaq. We go through, talk about all things sports, the biggest stories and headlines. On Wednesdays, Ralph Garcia is doing his weekly Politico show called Attack on the Politicos. We have Thursday, which is a 3-Count Thursday, which is our wrestling podcast. On Fridays, we have Bet with the Boys. And Saturdays is our baseball podcast, In the Batter's Box, featured every Saturday. So quick shout out to them. All right, guys, how we do last week?
We got a winner.
I did get a winner. He had a winning card. What was on that card?
It was the Bucks under.
Well, the Bucks went over.
Never mind. It was not the Bucks. It was Bengals -3 and 2 over-unders and 165.
Okay, Ty 165.
Yeah.
Me and Ty each have a winning card so far. We're still down a little bit so far to start the year, but we're going to get it back. I had a couple cards that got lost. The Raiders killed me. The Bucks killed me. Titans killed every one of my cards in the 1 o'clock cards. So other than that, it wasn't bad, though. What about you, Joe?
Yeah, I think I did 4 cards this week, I want to say. I took on the half point. I didn't, even though I took the Texans as my pick against them, and they ended up covering, but I just didn't. I didn't take them, and I took the Titans on all my teasers, and as you guys probably saw, that score was outrageous. So
yeah,
did not cover at all.
Okay, let's see how we actually did. Last week I was leading the way, went 60%, had 9 points. This week there's the new winner for this week, and that is the man Ty Bean.
Yeah.
That's how.
That's what I'm talking about.
Man, Ty Bean went 7-4 against the spread, 1-1 on the over/under, had a total of 8 points, 53% last week. He's the only one to go above 50%. He gained a point on me last week, so now we're tied for the top throughout the season. But good effort. He had 7-4 against the spread. Didn't really mess with the over/unders, but pretty solid against the spread this week. And now, tied for second. Me and Joe both had 7 points this week. I won 5-5 versus the spread, 2-3 against the over/under, 46% overall. Joe won 3-4 against the spread, 4-4 against the over/unders, 46% overall. And that leaves us at a season through 2 weeks so far. Started a little late, but through 2 weeks, it's me and Ty tied atop with 16 points, 53% for the year, and Joe 3 points behind us at 43% for the season. So Joe's got some ground to make up.
Don't worry. I made some bad picks last week. Don't worry. Learned my lesson on some of these over.
I had a couple tough bad beats. We'll get into that. And could have been a better week. 46%. You want to get above 53. 53 is the number you want to be a professional bettor to win money. So we're at 53 for the year, but bad week last week. We'll bounce back. But anything else you guys want to talk about week 2 or week 4 that really caught your eye?
How about that Redskins game? Go Birds! Told you guys about that Chargers game. It's gonna be a home game.
I will say that Ty did have that one on the money. He talked about that right away. He said he's the first person I heard mention it. And then on Sunday, all I would hear about was how the Eagles have a home game. The Chargers fans, they didn't show out. They sold out. They sold more tickets for the Galaxy game the night before than they actually did for the Eagles game. It was just bad. It's not looking good over there in LA for the Chargers. They should. I don't know. It's not a lot of fans right now.
Nobody's buying it.
Nobody's buying it.
We are 0-4.
All right. Well, that ends our weekly recap. And that gets into our first segment we're going to do. It's an interesting one. We did this last week. This is called Line Pushers. Line Pushers, this is when we talk about any games that were close to the spread, that won over the last second. There's real interesting games that flirted with the spread. And we have some real good ones this week. Let's start off with the most obvious line pusher of the week. If anyone was paying attention, Monday Night Football, Redskins, Chiefs, minus 6.5, over under 47.5. You were paying attention. The score was about 41, I think it was 29-20 final. So yeah, it was about
2023.
43 total points scored. And Redskins had the ball with about 10 seconds left. And, Hail Mary effort, try and score a touchdown, get the game, win the game, try to send it to overtime, keep the game alive. Only about one desperation play left. Skins are up by 3 points, or down by 3 points, so they had 3.5 to give left on the spread. And what happened, guys?
Kirk Cousins cannot catch footballs. That's what happened.
Yeah.
He dropped he threw the lateral, he dropped it. Like the ball gets pushed around. Justin Houston picks it up, and runs all the way in the end zone. So it blows the over-under and blew the spread.
Justin Houston picked up the football. Chris Thompson was kicking it around. Ball was just spinning. Houston runs up with it and goes straight into the end zone. Blows the spread at 6.5 and puts the game over.
So bad for Ty's dad.
My dad had the Redskins and the under in this game, and he's a Redskins fan too at heart, so he was very upset with the outcome of Monday's game. And that's just a Hall of Fame bad beat right there. Like the line is for the Skins look good all the way. They were winning the game, and they weren't down by more than 3 at all at any point in the game. The under looked really good. Defenses were rocking. It seemed like a clear, easy win for the Skins on the spread, which we all had. Would have put us all above 50%.
Yep.
To put Ty at 60%.
Yeah.
But no. The Redskins did not cover. And that was bad. It's a bad beat for if you had the Redskins or the under in that game.
I also feel bad for anybody who had Chris Thompson, got registered with a fumble. Playing the Chiefs defense. I saw a lot of nightmares on Twitter, just looking at people seeing after that.
I saw people tweet about how they had the Chiefs D and that touchdown killed them, that they won them the game or what cost them the game. There's just so many. That one little play to end the game meant so much to so many people, and it's ridiculous. But hey, that's the game we're playing. Gotta meet the spread. Another game that really pushed the line last week was the Bucs versus the Giants. The game was at minus 2.5. Final score is 25-23 Bucs. The Bucs did not cover by half point. Giants looked good. Ty actually took the Giants, which would kind of swayed the standings a little bit. And it was just a real bad game for the Bucs. Nick Folk missed 2 field goals. He missed an extra point. The extra point would have put the game over. Just missed opportunities all game by the Bucs, and they really flared up the line. The Giants stole one here, and Vegas got away with one. And another line pusher featuring the Bucs was the game last night, which was really interesting. On the cards here for the Delaware Sports Lottery, we got it at 5.5. The game actually went final at 3.5, which was a big deal because it's a 5-point victory for the Pats, which means once again the Bucs covered, and the Bucs got a late touchdown from Cameron Brate. They were driving with about 2 minutes left. That made the score a 5-point game. And Nick Folk actually made the extra point. If anyone was watching, he missed.
He did miss that. He missed the one.
He was 0 for 3 from field goals today, which awful. And so that last extra point from 32 was no gimme. So give the Bucs the spread. But yeah, Nick Folk probably won't have a job next week. That's what I'm getting at. He missed 5 field goals in the past 4 days. That's unacceptable. And an extra point, making the lines look real interesting and for that. So that's our line pushers for this week. Some real interesting games. We'll be back next week with either line pushers, how I lost my card, somewhere let you know how people got screwed because of the spread. All right. So with that said, we'll get right into our first batch of games. Get into the spread, get some picks. First game's up. We got the Giants minus 3.5 against the Chargers. Over under this one's 44.5. Any opinions? Any thoughts to start out for this game?
I think Chargers, it's a must-win game for them. Phil Rivers, a Hall of Fame quarterback, most likely going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's getting 3.5 points here against an awful Giants team. They're going to keep close. Chargers need to win to probably save Anthony Lynn's job at the end of the year, or things are going to be bad. And same for the Giants. I just don't believe in the Giants at all. They were not very good last year at all, and this year just proven to show like they were not the team they were last year. And they got very lucky with a lot of wins. They were the luckiest 10-6 team I've ever seen in my entire life. And you can see now that they are not a very good football team.
Yeah, so you're going with Chargers here?
Chargers, plus 3.5.
See, personally, I was leaning towards the Chargers. I think this is the game the Chargers might take. It's on the road, though. It makes me kind of hesitant. I never know what these East Coast going West Coast teams going East are going to do. But I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. I think Odell Beckham is going to have a good game. Look for Keenan Allen to have a good game. Both these defenses aren't very good. They're ranked 25th and 23rd, respectively. Giants offense is ranked 19th. Chargers are ranked 15th right now. So about average offenses with star talent at a decent-looking line against bad defenses, making me go to the over. So I'm taking the over 44.5 this one. Look for a big game from Keenan Allen, no doubt. I think the star receivers are going to have it there.
In this one, I'm going to go actually right against what Ty just said. I'm going to take the under in this one. Personally, I think these are two 0-4 teams. I think they've played pretty bad football throughout. I think they've struggled to score points, especially the Giants. The Giants have struggled, and I think the running game has looked not great. I think the Chargers, Melvin Gordon's been I have him on my fantasy team, kind of disappointed this year so far, not really putting up the points I want. Honestly, I think this game is both offenses are going to have trouble getting it going, so I'm going to take the under here, 44.5.
Michael Rivera's he's on board with the Giants. He thinks they're going to cover the 3.5. What do you think about that, Ty? What do you tell about Michael?
I don't think so at all. I like the Chargers here a lot. I just think the Giants really have an overrated defense this year.
Yeah,
and
it's bad too.
It's not as hyped up as it was before, and the front four is not getting much. I read a stat about the Giants defense line that said their defensive end play 95% of the time. So once it comes to the fourth quarter, they start running outside zones, and they just can't keep up with it 'cause there's no one else out there. They're just gas in the fourth quarter.
They lose the containment. Yeah, I don't know, Michael. Wish the best of luck to your Giants this week, but I don't know. I actually don't love them at 3.5. They might be able to steal the game, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, go.
Next game up on our slate, we got the Bengals minus 3.5 against the Bills. Over under in this one's 38.5. Bengals last week, we all kind of called it. We all thought the Bengals were going to get it going, finally get their win of the season. First win of the season, blew out the Browns. It looked really good. Offense looked good. AJ Green and Andy Dalton looked like they're in sync again. They had a little bit of running game. It's all positive signs from the Bengals, and the Bills stole a big one in Atlanta.
That's the only one to call that.
Ty is the only one who called that. And I was surprised. They really impressed me. That defense looked good. Tyrod got that offense going. The Bills look all right. You know, they're rocking with Tyrod and Shady as their basically only source of offense, and it's been working. This week, I think it's two pretty solid defenses, but I think the Bengals are going to get the offense going a little bit. They had their week last week, 38 points. The over-under here is really low at 38.5. I think the game's going to be competitive. Maybe a late touchdown is going to put the spread over, but I'm taking the over 38.5.
I say keep the Bills train rolling. The Bills are going to cover here, and they get 3.5 points. The Bills by far have one of the best defenses in the NFL this year. With the addition of Jordan Poyer and Michael Hyde, they've solidified their safety position. They always have had like one of the best defensive lines with what's his name? The defensive line, Marcus Darius, and then they had Jarius Hughes as well. And they just seem to be getting a lot of pressure this year. Not to mention they had Kyle Williams. I like the Bills, and the offense is just good enough to keep them rolling with Shady, who's still he's older, but he's still showing shady production like he did before.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Personally here, I'm going with the Bengals minus 3.5. I feel like this is the trap game this week with the Bills. I think people saw the Bills, how they looked against the Falcons and against the Broncos. I think they're due for a loss here. I think the Bengals offense looked good last week. I think they can play well enough at home. I think they can cover this 3.5 spread.
I'm with you on this one. And by the way, Michael Rivera is actually a Texans fan. He's not a Giants fan. He just thinks the Giants are going to get it done.
He is right about Eric Flowers. He is garbage. It's not good at all.
He had a comment about making a possible trade for DeJuan Brown from the Texans. don't know. It would be a good fit for the Giants. They need
They
something.
don't need anybody.
Brown is one of the best tackles in the league, so very interesting.
I don't know though. If he said that if Eli gets his line back, he'll be good. But honestly, I think Eli's looked. He really hasn't looked that good this week so far. So I'm not gonna. Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So next game's up. We got on our card is the Browns at a pick'em against the New York Football Jets. What are you liking this one, Joe?
I am liking the Jets. Honestly, I'm sorry to all you Jets fans. If any of you Jets fans watched, I said that they're the worst team of football, but they're actually sitting here at 2-2 right now. They're looking decent.
Gotta be tied with the Patriots after this week.
Yeah, honestly, they will be, which is the AFC East is totally shooken up from what I thought it was going to be. But I'm definitely taking the Jets here. Either offense can get it rolling, beat the Browns.
The Jets are actually already tied with the Patriots in the AFC East right now at 2-2.
Well, 3-2 after last night.
Well, the Pats are 3-2. I'm sorry. You're right. By half a game now. But the Jets have looked impressive. We all came in really well on them. We all thought they were going to be awful.
0-16.
Yeah, which there talks about 0-16. Like they seem like the consensus worst team in football, but they had a pretty good, solid win against the Dolphins. They looked good against the Jags. They got it done in overtime on the road. Josh McCown's not playing bad. The defense is looking all right. Like Jets definitely aren't the pushover that we come to expect. But I can't take them here on the road. The Browns have been playing okay as well. Hugh Jackson has that defense playing better. I think that there's gonna be a sloppy game here. The Browns ranked 26th in total offense. The Jets are 20th. And the Jets are running the ball well, but I mean the Jets have been passing the ball well right now, and I just think not gonna be a lot of points being scored. Sloppy game. I got the under 38.5 here. Two bad teams. Not a lot of points gonna be scored. What do you think, Ty?
I believe in the Jets, Jets. On a 3-game win streak, man. They're about to get it rolling. The Browns they looked really bad last week. I thought there was a chance they might have an upset against the Bengals, who were just as equally as bad. Well, this year they have been. But the Browns just completely fell apart last week, and I just think this week is their last possible chance to almost win, or else there's a good chance they might be going 0-16 and probably picking another quarterback. So, but I have a feeling the Jets just been playing well, really solid defense. They seem to figure out with the running game, just give Bulio Powell the ball. So I like the Jets here. They can go on a 3-game win streak.
Yeah, I do like the Jets as well. I'd maybe take them on some teasers. They look good. Super teaser. And I'm here on this teaser at 6.5. Super teaser at 10.5.
I get 10.5.
Those are both really good lines for them. If they do lose this game, I don't see it being a blowout at all. I don't think the Browns are capable of blowing anyone out. What are you going with, Joe?
I already took the Jets, but I'm looking here at 6.5 on a reverse. Might kind of like. I mean, if you look at the Browns did last week, 1 touchdown at home, really against the Bengals. I wasn't that high on the Bengals either, but I mean, like only being able to score 1 touchdown against the Bengals defense at home, like this just feels like it's got to be the Jets all the way.
We're all big on the Jets. How about that?
Yeah, I would not.
Things are changing. All right, next up, another pretty interesting matchup. We got the Steelers minus 8.5 at home against the Jaguars. The over-under on this one's 43.5. I want to say the Steelers. They looked good last week. They beat the Ravens on the road pretty handily. They look good. The defense looks solid. But I just am not convinced that the Steelers can cover an 8.5-point spread. They've had a couple big spreads twice already this year. Didn't cover either one. Jags defense is pretty good. I think that this game's going to be relatively low scoring. I don't have enough confidence in the Jags to take them in this pick either, so it makes me by default go with the under 43.5. Jags D proven it can show up. I think Jalen Ramsey and the cornerbacks in Jacksonville are going to AJ Boyd. There you go. AJ Boyd, and they have a really good pass rush with Twice Campbell, Dante Fowler. I think the Jags defense is going to show up, try to keying on Le'Veon, and we'll see what they got. But I got the under 43.5, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Jags covered this spread.
I like the Jags here, plus 8.5. Just way too much points for Steelers. I think they've already covered two. Didn't cover two big spreads like this, and it's just something about Steelers. I just feel like Ben always struggles. He's just been struggling this year, and then there's something obviously going on between him and Antonio Brown, and there's some tension going on, and I feel like something's going on with Tomlin as well, and I feel like the Steelers might be one of those teams that could really fall apart by the end of this year. If I would just stay away from the Steelers. Take the Jaguars plus 8.5. That's a safe pick here.
Personally, I was leaning toward the Jags all week. I was like, wow, the Jags are getting 8.5. I think the line opened at 9. I was like, wow, that's a lot of points. But then I started doing some research, started looking at it, and honestly, I'm taking the Steelers minus 8.5 here. I think Ben is one of those quarterbacks who he always plays well at home, and the Steelers always play well at home. And I think against this Jaguars team coming off a road loss at the Jets, their second week in a row, I don't think they're going to be able to cover here. I think Blake Bortles, depends on what Blake Bortles we're going to see. Are we going to see a Blake Bortles that throws 3 interceptions and maybe passes for 200 yards, or is he going to throw for 3 touchdowns? I'm not sold on this Jaguars offense, and the Steelers run defense is not bad either. And that's basically their only out for the Jaguars to run the ball, give it to Fournette. So I think the Jaguars, I don't think they're going to score a lot of points. So I'm taking the Steelers minus 8.5.
All different points again there. There's going to be some points up for grabs this week.
I do like the under, though. The under is, I also have that down. I would take the under, too.
Next game up is a game that is no spread on the Delaware card yet. We're waiting to hear about Mariota, if he's going to play or not. But we did find through OddsShark that right now the line's at Titans minus 2.5 against the Dolphins. No over-under out. They're trying to, if Mariota plays, the Uber's probably going to go up a little more. If Castle plays, it's probably going to stay down. This pick, I was big on the Texans last week. I really thought they had a statement game against a divisional opponent where they needed to win a game, needed to stay in the standings and not fall behind, and they got embarrassed. And Deshaun Watson torched that defense, put up 57 points. It was just an embarrassing outing for the Titans. They couldn't get much on offense either. Mariota got hurt with the hamstring. With all that said, I'm still taking the Titans this week because I think the Dolphins are one of the worst teams in football, and they've shown that they can't get. Jay Cutler has not been the answer to replace Ryan Tannehill. Haven't been able to get the offense going. Jay Ajayi has not had a good season. They've really been focusing on him. Hasn't had a breakout game yet this year. And I think the Titans are desperate for another win. They need one here, and I think even with Castle, they're going to get enough going offensively. They'll run the ball heavy with Derrick Henry and DeMarco Murray. And I got the Titans minus 2.5 here.
This is a weird game. The spread 2.5. I mean, personally here, I think I might want to take the Dolphins plus 2.5, but I'm really not confident about it. I think the Titans, we're going to see this week how good the Titans really are without Mariota. So if this hamstring injury is longer than a week and he starts to go out, we're really going to see what the Titans are made of this week. Personally, I agree with Ty about the Dolphins not looking great, but they're sitting here at home. They didn't score any points last week in London. I think so. Where did they score a field goal?
Yeah, they got shut out.
They get shut out. Yeah, I think they're going to be able to figure it out this week. The Titans defense isn't great. I think the Dolphins, Jay Ajayi might have a big game this week. I'm going to take the Dolphins plus 2.5.
Yeah, I like the Dolphins here plus 2.5 as well. I just think even last year, you've seen with Mariota, once he goes down, the Titans just haven't been able to figure out a way to win with them. And I just think that continues. The Dolphins got shut out last week. That doesn't happen every week in the NFL. They're going to bounce back this week, and they're going to score points. I think they're going to score a lot, especially on that Titans defense that just gave up 57. So the Texans, not going to be pretty. I like the Dolphins plus 2.5.
At home, too.
At home.
Something about the Dolphins I just can't buy into. Don't bet bad teams. 2.5 is not enough points to make me bet them.
Titans are a bad team without a starting quarterback.
Maybe disagree on that. I think the Titans can get it done. I think that offense is good enough to cover with it.
I really don't. Matt Castle's a bad backup. It's not really good. Who else are they working on? Are they working on another quarterback too?
Best bet for them would have been to sign Kaepernick. That's the best person to fit their offense.
Would have fitted nicely with the system, the ability. They're kind of similar, very similar quarterbacks in the way they run. Like Mariota is a pass first but run option, and Kaepernick gives you that as well. If Mariota's out for any long period of time, I think that would be a great fit for him. All right, next up we got a stinker here between the Colts -1.5 at home against the Niners. Over/under 43.5. Niners had a chance to get their first victory of the season last year. They blew it in overtime. I don't know. What do you guys think about this game?
I called it last week. Thought the 49ers are getting way too many points in that over-under. So I'm sticking with the over-under here again. I think taking the under at 43.5. I don't think the Colts or the 49ers are going to be able to put up any points at all.
Yeah, I think I also like the under at 43.5, but my pick here is the 49ers plus 1.5. I think this is one of the last games that the 49ers, like, if you look at their schedule, like, have a chance to win. And I think that the Colts, I mean, they looked okay. I mean, they got blown out last week by the Seahawks, but we kind of all saw that coming. But I think that the 49ers and Brian Hoyer can do enough to win this game. I think it's going to be, like Ty said, it's going to be a bad game. But if I had to pick here, I'm going with the 49ers.
Personally, I would take the Colts if I was going to pick this game because at home, coming off a bad beat, Colts already beat the Cardinals. They lost to the Cardinals this year. They had a game they could have won. They played well at home. I think the Niners, they've had a couple opportunities slip away. But these are two pretty bad offenses. They're ranked 25th. The Niners are ranked 25th in offense. The Colts are ranked 31st. There's not a lot of weapons out here that really scares any defenses. I think there's going to be two teams that run the ball a lot. You see a lot of Carlos Hyde and Frank Gore. And this is just making me lean towards the under. The under is not too low here. 43.5 is a pretty good number for two bad teams. And I'm feeling pretty confident in the under at 43.5 here. All right. Got our last game before we go to our next segment. We go tie. Eagles -6.5 against the Cardinals. Over/under is 45.5. Start with you, Ty.
All right. Well, if you took my advice last week and bet your life savings on the Eagles, you're a millionaire. Welcome. This week, I'm not as confident in betting all your money on the Eagles, but I would still take the Eagles here -6.5. I just think it's a big spread, but I do think the Eagles win no matter what. I just think they're going to be able to find a way. The Cardinals just, without a running back, a true running back, really just don't have solid offense. I mean, Carson always throws for 300 yards. Like he will get his passing yards, but I just don't believe the Cardinals are going to be able to find a way to get into the end zone against the Eagles.
See, I think the Eagles will probably win this game, but 6.5 is too many points for me to take. I think the Cardinals are very good at stopping the pass. They're ranked second right now in the passing offense. They struggle to stop the run, which right now the Eagles haven't have any consistent running game. So I look for Carson Wentz to struggle a little bit. I don't think he's going to have to get 300 yards this week. And I look for Larry Fitzgerald to torch this Eagles defense. He's the Eagles killer. He's always had tremendous games against these guys, always gone off for at least a touchdown. So I look for Fitz to go off, Wentz to struggle. Eagles still pull through, but the Cards at 6.5 is a good pick to me. The Eagles have played this Thursday. Could be looking forward to the next week. They're already probably trying to prepare for the Panthers. I think this could be a letdown game, and the 6.5 is a good pick for me, the Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Ty on this, so I'm taking the Cardinals plus 6.5. If you look at the Cardinals this year, they've only played one game where the score finished more than 3 points, one way or the other. So I think the Cardinals keep things close. Like you said about Larry Fitzgerald doing torching the Eagles, I think he's going to do something. The Eagles defense has looked good, but I think that one of the things we saw last week against the Chargers was that the Eagles kind of let that game slip a little bit more than they should have. They had their finger on it, but they kind of let it slip. So I think they're going to let it slip a little bit here too, and not be able to cover the 6.5 spread.
The Eagles had a lot of defensive starters out that game too, as well. They always seem to find a way to win. So you just gotta remember, if you have two solid lines on the offense and defensive side, you're gonna go far in the NFL. And the Eagles have 2 top 5, so just keep that in mind.
Right. Maybe see a Carson Wentz pick. Maybe see
he's a homer.
See, they keep predicting a Carson Wentz slump, but I haven't seen it through
I've not.
He's on pace for 4,000 yards, 24 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. I'll take it. You know,
Pretty
from
sure I've
sophomore.
had your boys back every week. Besides this week, I think it's a bad matchup. It's due for a letdown game. Cardinals 6.5. Ty disagrees. We'll see what happens.
Go Birds.
We'll take a little break from going through our picks right now. Next thing we got up is Saturday for the boys, college football. We do past couple weeks here. Ty's been going through, giving his top 3 locks of the week for each Saturday college football. Week 1 did not go as planned. He went 0 for 3. Had a nice little bounce back last week. He picked USF to cover against ECU. They won by 30. The spread was 26.
Yeah,
24. So that one looked good. He had Tulsa against Navy. Took the Navy minus 7.5. They rolled Tulsa. And Ty had a loss last week. I don't know what he was thinking exactly. We told him not to do this pick.
Told him go Dogs.
He told him go
Not
Dogs.
listening to us.
He took Tennessee plus 7.5.
I was feeling the Bolts.
Tennessee
Not look up.
Tennessee lost 41-0. Georgia rolled, ran all over them. That's all right. We'll let that one go.
We'll let him roll.
We're 2 for 6 so far.
Looking good.
Giving you another shot at this one, Ty. We need perfection this week.
Oh.
We got 3 winners.
I got perfection for you right here. Take this to the bank. I got the Temple Owls
Oh yeah.
at ECU. ECU has been one of the worst teams. I think almost every week I bet the team against ECU. And the Temple Owls only -2. Out on the road against ECU. Expect blowout.
Fight for Sheridan White.
Go Owls. And then we have Alabama at Texas A&M. Texas A&M struggled this year. Kevin Sumlin needs to win this game to save his job probably. But Alabama has been on another level this year, just blowing teams out. I just think they keep it rolling after a strong win against Vanderbilt. And then Washington State University is playing Oregon, -2 at Oregon. I don't know why Washington State's only -2, but I'll take it. Give me Washington State against Oregon. I don't think they're nowhere near the team they were when Chip Kelly was there. And Washington State played very well against a USC team, and everybody knew that was going to be the toughest game for USC. And Washington State pulled off and came through to win. So I just expect them to keep it going this year. They have a chance to be a college football playoff team.
So I do like Washington State this week. I think it's an interesting line. They're probably expecting a letdown game, but I think Washington State Falk looked really good, and Mike Leach, the head coach there, has changed that team around in 2 years. It's very impressive. These are Ty's 3 locks. Let him do his thing. He's a college football expert. But I saw a game on here that I knew Ty would not have picked, but it does look good. You guys, Penn State -13.5 at Northwestern. Northwestern, it gives up average 145 yards on the ground per game. I think Saquon Barkley has himself another Heisman day. Goes off for probably over 200 total all-purpose yards, a couple touchdowns. I think Penn State wins this one by a couple. Northwestern had a good game last week against Wisconsin. Kept it close. I think is why the spread's only 13.5. But I wouldn't buy into Northwestern too much. Penn State -13.5. Sorry, Ty.
My pick this week is I'm taking USC -34. I know against Oregon State. I know it's a lot of points, but this Oregon State team, not good. Not good at all. They've gotten blown out. They're not playing well at all. You look at USC off a bad week against Stanford. I think Sam Darnold is going to throw all over Oregon State. I think they'll cover 34. I don't even know if Oregon State will score. We'll see how it goes, but this to me feels like a blowout.
Sam Darnold's struggled all year, so just keep that in mind. And USC has not covered the spread very well, especially high spreads like this. 35, five touchdowns. You really think USC?
USC screws a couple times this year. Yeah. The big spreads, but Oregon State is pretty bad. So we'll see what happens. So yeah, that is Saturdays for the boys in college football. All right, but let's get right back into our 5 picks. Next up on the card, we have the Lions -2.5 at home against the Panthers. Lions last week looked very good again on the road against Minnesota. Defense played well. It was a very defensive heavy game. Joe was all on board for the over.
Screw me on some cards.
The under.
I didn't know Dalvin Cook was going to get hurt, though. How could I have known that?
That's why the game went under.
Yeah, only that.
That's
Amen.
21
Once
points.
he got hurt, both teams were like, we're not scoring anymore.
We're done.
You don't think Dalvin Cook getting injured had any impact on that spread?
Okay,
Really?
they scored
Not even a
20
touchdown. You don't think they would scored one more touchdown at least?
They didn't get half to the over to the
They
total.
did not. The
So,
Lions.
no, I
Defense
don't
every
think
game.
Dalvin Cook had any effect on the over.
We'll give him a touchdown. Still wouldn't have happened.
Anyway,
Bad game.
we get the Lions -2.5 against the Panthers, who had a great upset victory in Foxborough last week. Looked very impressive. Cam Newton got going, had 300 yards passing. Down Kelvin Benjamin had 100 yards. Jonathan Stewart was running the ball well. By far the best game we've seen from the Panthers this year. And what are you guys leaning towards on this one? Where are your heads at?
I'm leaning line -2.5 here. I think I don't have to give up. I get -2.5 here. They can win by a field goal and still win and cover this game. I think the Lions are the better team overall in this game. I think Matt Stafford at home is going to play well against the Panthers. And besides, we saw what the Panthers did last week, but I hate to say it, but the Patriots, their defense is really bad. Like, we give up a lot of passing yards this year. Like, we've been doing it all year. So Cam looked good, and they were able to run through them, but I think the Lions defense is better than the Patriots defense, so I'm taking the Lions -2.5 here.
I'm with Joe. I'm going with the Lions -2.5. I think the Lions are a very good team this year. They're 3-1. They should be arguably 4-0. They got screwed in that Atlanta game. And they looked great. The defense impressed me last week. They shut down Case Keenum. He threw for 369 yards the week before. I think I was very impressed. They only allowed 7 points. I think this week, Cam, like I said, as Joe said, that Patriots secondary and that defense has given up a lot of yards this year. Every quarterback's there for 300 yards against the Patriots this season. But the difference in that game for the Panthers was they were actually running the ball well. Jonathan Stewart got going. They made second and third manageable for him. But the Lions' rushing defense is really good. They're ranked 6th right now. And so I think it's going to be a tough day running the ball for Jonathan Stewart and McCaffrey. And it's really going to come down to can Cam Newton have another game he did last week. And a better defense, I don't think the Panthers are going to be able to do enough on offense. And I think it's only 2.5 spread. Like you said, the field goal is not a bad spread. I'm going with the Lions here at home.
I like the Lions -2.5 as well. I think the Panthers coming off the win against the Patriots. The Patriots aren't the team they were like before. They're a good Patriots team. They aren't a great Patriots team like they always are. And I think Panthers are gonna expect a real big letdown here against the Lions defense that is legit. Is very good. They probably have a top 5 corner, Darius Slay Jr. So I expect Kelvin Benjamin to be locked down the entire game. And they just have to focus on the run. And Lions' run defense has been one of the best. They've been able to stop them most of the time. And I just like the Lions. And like last year, later in the season, the Lions switched to more of like a game management type offense where Matt Stafford would only throw the ball around 25 times a game and they just run the ball a lot more, which seems to be a lot more effective for the Lions because they've been winning a lot more games, controlling time possession. So I really like the Lions here. I just think they're going to dominate the Panthers. I don't think Panthers are going to put up very many points.
Is that our first unanimous pick this week?
Yeah, I think it might be. Yeah.
Interesting. So, yeah. Well, I like the Lions this week. I think it's going to be a really good game, though, so stay tuned to that one. Over under 44.5. Probably going to be under in that one, honestly. If I was going to take it, maybe on some teasers.
Is that 44.5? Yeah, maybe. Probably under.
The teasers here, you got them at 51.5 looks real good. Or 49.5, so I like both those.
You also take the over at 39.5. I don't know.
We don't know.
We really don't.
Alright. Next game's up. We have it's a very popular game between us three. A lot of debate on. It's the Rams, -1.5 at home against the Seahawks. The over under this one is 47.5.
It's a lot of points.
Let you start out, Joe. Give me your take.
Personally, I'm going Rams -1.5 here. I think the Rams have looked better in every game than anyone has thought. I think Sean McVay has really figured out a way to use every player on his team effectively and get the most out of them. You've seen Todd Gurley this year. Todd Gurley looks like he's the best. He looks like he's the best running back in the NFL right now. He's a stud. I think that the Seahawks team is a little bit overrated. I think people might look at the Colts game last week and think that they were I think maybe they're better than they are, but they had some defensive turnovers and some defensive stuff. So that's why they put the score up as high as it was. But This is actually the first time that the Seahawks have been underdogs to the Rams in 6 years. And I think there's a reason for that this year. I think the Rams might be for real. I think they could win here at home by 1.5.
What do you think, Ty?
I like the Rams as well, minus 1.5. I just don't think the Seahawks really have their defense is not as good as the Seahawks defense this past has been. And I just think the Rams, they signed all the right players they needed to get. They knew they needed to revamp the offense, get receivers there. They've had the best wide receiver who's put up the most receiving for rookies in Cooper Kupp. And they signed Robert Woods, got Sammy Watkins as well, who's been playing very well for them. And then Todd Gurley started throwing the ball to him and just put the ball in playmakers' hands.
Yeah.
And I just think the Seahawks are going to have a tough time against the Rams. And I really think the Rams are going to win this game.
I'm going against these two on this one. I think the Seahawks win this game. This is one of those games where Seattle struggled. They haven't looked great this season. But this is a big one. It's a division game. The Rams are a game ahead of them right now. You can't fall 2 games behind. It's on the road. They need to make a statement. The Rams always play the Seahawks tough. They always make it miserable. But that's Jeff Fisher is there. And I just think the Seahawks, the offense finally got going last week against the Colts. You saw Jimmy Graham get going. Tyler Lockett was involved in the offense. They finally had a running game a little bit with Eddie Lacy, and Chris Carson was going. Carson's banged up, but I think he'll be ready to go this week.
No, he's not. He had she-said surgery. He's not
He's
playing. He's off. He's done.
Well, that's my bad. I read the injury report, didn't see him on there. I thought he was all right. Stopped on the IR. My bad. Even without Carson, they had the new kid come in, though.
JD
McKinnon. Yeah, he had a nice catch for 24 yards, and he had about 52 yards of rushing game. So the Seahawks got a little bit going offensively, and that defense is going to key in on Jared Goff. They're not going to let Todd Gurley beat them. I think they're going to stack the box. They're going to trust in their secondary to contain against the Rams receivers. And I think Goff's going to have his worst game of the season against the secondary. And I think the Seahawks get it done in convincing fashion. Seahawks minus 1.5 is one of my favorite plays for the week.
It's must win for the Rams here. If you've been following,
it's not a must win. They're 3-1.
No. What I'm saying is, think about it though. If they want to have a chance to win this division, they have to win at home because that game in Seattle is going to be rough, especially when Seattle later in the season once they start figuring out some of their issues and start playing better as a team. This is a big win for the Rams. They need this win, especially come later on this season.
I think it's a bigger game. I think it's more of a must-win for Seattle at this point in the season. The Rams, people are high on them right now. Big win against the Cowboys, but maybe they're touching more about the Cowboys than does the Rams. But we'll see. That's one of the games I'll definitely look forward to the most this week. Next up, we got the Raiders minus 2.5 at the Ravens. We're running this one 39.5. The Raiders just lost Derek Carr. Not effective play this week. Supposed to be out 2 to 6 weeks. I saw. Even though he is practicing this week, he wants to play. I don't think they're going to let him play this week. Ravens looked awful last week. I couldn't get anything going offensively again. To me, this is leaning towards the under. With E.J. Manuel starting, the Ravens defense is decent, about average defenses. I don't think the Raiders have been able to do anything offensively running the ball. And it's just going to be a sloppy game overall. I think it'll be a lot of turnovers. It's not a lot of points scored. To me, under 39.5 is the safe play. I really have no clue what's going to happen with E.J. Manuel as starting quarterback. And on the road, the Ravens can't feel good about them. So I'll take the under 39.5.
Yeah, I'm with Ty on this one. I'm going the under in this one, 39.5. We saw what the Raiders look like last year in the playoffs without Derek Carr. They look bad. And honestly, I think Derek Carr is one of those. He's one of those players in the Raiders where he is having the biggest impact. Marshawn Lynch really hasn't been giving them what they thought he was going to be this year. I think the Ravens' offense is horrendous. It's looking really bad. They could not score against the Steelers last week. Had trouble all year. It feels like it's got to be the under here. Two teams who struggle both on offense. Defense is not great this year. I'm going with the under.
I don't know. Something's telling me in my gut I need to take the Ravens here plus 2.5. And I don't know. I'm guessing like you are. I hope the Ravens figure it out. I'm just putting my trust in that and just rocking with the 2.5. We're gonna see what happens. I really have no clue here.
I mean, that's probably the safer bet. The Raiders look so bad. I mean, they couldn't score anything against
My only reason for saying that is just I don't trust EJ Manuel.
Yeah.
He's a very below average quarterback.
Just expect maybe the Ravens pull one out. I think they could win this game like 13-10 or something. Would not surprise me. Something real low.
I'm taking Flacco here. Gotta take a Delaware guy.
Ugly
I'm going
game.
Flacco.
Having one of the worst
Ugly game.
worst season of his career.
This game.
I mean, his back was messed up coming in.
Next up, we got Cowboys minus 2.5 at home against the Packers. Over under 52.5. To me, the pick here is the over. It's going to be the first real shootout we've seen this season, I think. 4:30 start times, probably the Fox game of the week. I think the Cowboys D got exposed last week against the Rams. The Rams did anything they wanted to. They moved the ball at will, kicked 7 field goals, which is absurd, including 2 touchdowns after that. And I think the Packers, Aaron Rodgers, he's looked good. Jordy Nelson, he's found him again. Randall Cobb, he's found some different pieces as well. Starting to get a little bit of a running game. Ty Montgomery's out. We'll see what Aaron Jones has got. And I think the Packers' run defense is atrocious. They're ranked 29th right now. And I think he hasn't done a good game. I think they went all over him. Opens up the play action. That's season last scoring. I think it's going to be back and forth this whole game. I really don't know who's going to win this game. I feel like my gut's telling me the Cowboys win this game. But I don't know for sure. So I definitely like the points over 52.5.
Yeah, I'm with Ty. 52.5. Honestly, this is a little low. Honestly, even for me, like we saw what happened in the playoffs last year. It's a shootout, and both defenses, neither one of them looks great. Both got decent quarterbacks who can make some plays. I think Aaron Rodgers might surprise some people. I think he might be able to win this game, but I'm definitely taking the over at 52.5 here. I think this would be a lot of points, like Ty said. Zeke's gonna feast. I think the Packers with Aaron Jones and what's his name, Jamal Williams, too, like as a replacements for Ty Montgomery. I think they might be able to do enough against the Cowboys' run defense to open up the play action for Aaron Rodgers soon.
I think this is one of those relaxed games with Aaron Rodgers. He's going to figure it out. The Packers' offense has been all right. I think they're getting Devontae Adams back this week, which is going to be huge for them. And because once it started going down to Randall Cobb being your number 2, Randall Cobb's a good player, but it's not what he used to be. Like when he signed the contract. And so I think the Packers here, I really like them plus 2.5. The Cowboys' defense is not good. Everybody's suspended. Like everybody, like they're just signing people off the street to play defensive tackle for them at this point now. And so I like the Packers plus 2.5. I think their defense is going to figure something out. Zeke's going to have a big game, but I don't like Dak Prescott. I don't think he's good, but he's vulnerable once he has to start passing a lot more than he's used to.
I think
that's when he starts making his mistakes.
I do agree with Dak make a struggle, but I think the biggest thing that's going to help in this game is Zeke's going to be running the ball well, open up play action, which is what he does his best. He can get out of the pocket and try and find and extend the play, which I think kind of leans into his advantage a little more this game with the run game being so bad.
But again, you're getting 2.5 points with a top 5 quarterback ever, so
feel good about it.
Yeah, I would.
Next up, Sunday Night Football game, one of the most intriguing matchups this week. Chiefs minus 1.5 at the Texans. The over/under is 47.5. Start you out, Ty. What do you think about this one?
This is a trap game. They're trying to make everybody bet on the Texans, and it's not happening. The Chiefs are going 5-0. You guys should believe it. Texans, it's going to be a shootout for the first part. And I just think the Chiefs with Kareem Hunt, he wasn't able to break one loose last game, but eventually he's going to get going again. And I like Tyreek Hill as well against the Texans. They've given up a lot of passing yards this year. I think it was second most in the division compared to the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are first or something. But yeah, I like the Chiefs minus 1.5 here.
I like the Chiefs a lot too. I think 1.5. They should win this game. But Deshaun Watson has looked good, and this Texans team has looked much improved. Their defense is really good. They're in 5th total defense right now. And I think they make life for Alex Smith and Kareem Hunt a little tough. And I don't see a lot of points scored. 47.5 is a pretty high over/under, especially with the fifth-ranked defense in the Texans. And the Chiefs are struggling so far, giving up a lot of points this year, but they have talent on defense and a rookie quarterback. Sunday Night Football against a team that can get pressure to the quarterback, I think could lead to some bad play from Watson, some struggles. And so I'm going to go with the under 47.5 in this one. As Ty said, the trap. I usually try to stay away from the trap games, not even mess with it. And so, yeah, I would take the under 47.5 and some Chiefs on teasers, some super teasers.
Yeah, honestly, I think people are trying to. I think Vegas is trying to push people to bet against on the Chiefs this week. I think they're really trying to get people to trap people into betting on the Chiefs. Personally, I kind of like the Texans plus 1.5 last week. It seemed like a bad pick. I think it was wasn't that 1.5 too, or was it 2.5? Yep, they blew them out. I told you guys, I let you know. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go with this off pick. I'm gonna take the Texans. I'm rolling with them here again. I'm gonna take my 1.5. Feel good about it.
The thing is,
I told you guys, but took the Titans on every single one of his cards.
I did, but I took it in the bet with the boys. I felt it. I took them on teasers and stuff. I took them getting like 9.5 and like 6.5. But still, I'm going with the Texans here. -1, get a 1.5. I think Ty's right. I think Deshaun Watson's look better. I think the Chiefs kind of struggled last week on Monday Night Football against the Redskins. I think on the road here, I think the Texans can get it done.
Why does everyone struggle against the Redskins? Why don't the Redskins just look good against these other teams? How could the Raiders struggle? The Chiefs struggle?
Oh, come on. With
the Redskins played their ass off and made them struggle. That defense is nasty. I'm sorry.
Also with that Chiefs game, they just have 11 Pro Bowlers on that team, like legitimate Pro Bowlers on the defensive side of the ball. They probably have like 5 or 6. And then Alex Smith they got like 5 or 6 playmakers around. You just got to give him the ball, not make stupid decisions. He has the best I guess arguably one of the best running backs like this year. He's probably up there in the top 5 right now, just based off what he can do for the Chiefs offense. These are the reason why they're undefeated.
Absolutely. Kareem Hunt been the X factor. And the Redskins last week, I said that was the key. They can contain Kareem Hunt. And they did contain Kareem Hunt for most of the game.
100
yards. They contained Kareem Hunt for most of the game. He had 21 carries for 100 yards. I'll take it.
It's 5 yards a carry.
And he had a couple missed runs in the second half, which got away, but that's not the reason why they lost the game. They lost the game because of injuries. Next up, the last game we're going to do is Monday Night Football. Vikings -2.5 at the Bears. There's no over-under on this one yet. We're waiting for some things out. But Mitchell Trubisky is getting his first NFL start. How do you think he's going to do against the Vikings?
I had a feeling going into this game the Vikings were going to win this game. And the more I look at it, Dalvin Cook's out. Case Keenum did not have a good week last week. And from what I saw of Mitch in the preseason, I'm sold on him being able to figure something out because you have Jordan Howard back there and Tariq Cohen. You just think about Mitch is going to be able to throw the ball more than 5 yards down the field, unlike Mike Glennon was able to do. He's going to make all the best quarterbacks make the people around them better. And I just think Mitch is going to be able to make those below average wide receivers he has average. At least somewhat average. Decent enough for them to beat the Vikings this game.
I personally took the Vikings -2.5. I don't love the Vikings without Dalvin Cook, and Ty made a lot of good points, but I just don't think this Bears team is consistent enough. They have no weapons on offense besides Tariq Cohen is their leading receiver right now. And I just think that's a lot of pressure to put on Mitch to be a very good defense in the Vikings. They probably score at least 20-some points, I think. And I think the Vikings are going to get the offense rolling. Case Keenum's going to get back into rhythm. Stephon Diggs is going to have himself a decent little game. And if I don't know what the over-under is at this moment. I would definitely like the under. It's probably going to be around like 42.5, 41.5.
That's what the price sounds like, maybe 43.
Yeah, I'd probably go the under there. But my pick is not out. My pick is the Vikings -2.5.
Personally, here I'm on board with Ty. I'm going with the Bears. I think Mitch can make his start. He's going to make his start. He's going to see what he can do. I think we saw that the Vikings offense it's really struggling. I don't know how well Jerick McKinnon and Latavius Murray are going to be able to fill in for him. I think that now you're looking at a point where the Vikings really don't, other than Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen. Those are like their two main weapons right now on offense. So I'm taking the Bears plus 2.5. I got a feeling Mitch is going to get it done at home. I think they've played well. I think the Bears have played well at home. I think they can figure it out. I think they can win by 2.5. But I definitely love whatever the over-under is going to be because I'm taking the under. I don't, even if it's 42, 44, I'm taking the under. I don't think there are going to be a lot of points scored this game. Not one bit.
Yeah, pretty solid. I'm excited to see what Mitch's got, though. Mitch, did look really good in the preseason. It'd be an interesting game. I'm definitely going to tune in for that one. So, Vikings minus 2.5 for the Bears. That is week 5. That is our picks. There's the cards. We went through all the games. I think I got some winners. I think I'm going to get my my cowbell back after this week.
Well, I'm getting the cowbell this
I don't know about that.
Joe.
Take a lot less over-unders.
I want over-under heavy this week.
Hey, Joe, once you get over 40%, we'll start talking.
I'm over 40% right now.
Once you get over 50, get half of them right, you can start talking about getting the cowbell, Joe.
All right, we'll see. They're going to see.
Right now, me and Ty got a tie at the top. Let it stay here, but
10% better.
come back. So let's get into our next segment before we get to our locks. We're bringing back one of our old winners.
Mm-hmm.
We got waiver wire winners, which is featuring Joe Germani. So Joe, let's get some of your waiver picks.
So this week I got 4 picks for you guys. I got Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams, right? I think that this week against the Cowboys, it's a good matchup for Green Bay running backs. Aaron Jones is owned at 67.9% of leagues. Jamal Williams at 15.8% of leagues. Jamal Williams, honestly, I kind of was thinking Aaron Jones might be the solid pick this week, but I think Jamal Williams he's a better pass catcher. I think he's going to get more fantasy points. So if you can swing into one of those guys, I would definitely pick him up. Next, I got Will Fuller at 54% owned in leagues. I think if you guys watched last year, you saw what Will Fuller can do. He's that deep threat that Deshaun Watson needs in that offense. I think he caught 2 touchdown passes last week. I think he only had like 30 yards, but he's definitely a solid number 2, especially backing up DeAndre Hopkins. So I would definitely pick him up if you can get him. Lastly, I got Alvin Kamara here. He's owned in 60% of leagues. He's looked like the best back for the Saints so far. Peterson really has been struggling. Ingram's been got a lot of carries, but not a lot of yards. I think Kamara can catch balls out of the backfield. I think that he's their most dynamic running back. So if you can find him this week, I'll pick him up. He's on a bye week this week, but I think I might incentivize some people to pick him up because they're thinking going into a bye, maybe I won't pick him up. But if you're out there and you're watching, pick him up if you can. You're gonna need him.
I like Alvin Kamara. I really liked him at Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
My boy Ray Diddy talked about him on 94.1. He was going off. He was raving about him. I watched him film on him before the draft. And my boy's good. He's had it looked like the best running back so far in New Orleans this year too, with Adrian Peterson, Mark Ingram there.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that kid.
Also, add Greg Zerline as a kicker.
Greg the leg.
If you guys need it, best kicker in the league.
27 last.
27 last week.
He's like he's got like 70 or 80%, I think. So I was gonna put him in the segment. But you should definitely pick him up. I got him this week in one of my leagues. I don't know how, but I picked him up.
I picked him up last week and he had like 15% and dropped to 27. Now everybody wants him.
Everybody knows who Greg
And now
is.
everybody knows him. He averages like 15 a game.
Yeah, I remember Greg the leg. That wasn't last year's rookie year. I think before that he had like a 61 yarder or something like his first couple games.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. Greg Zerline's a big little kicker. Obviously. So here we go. Next segment, we got our boy locks of the week. Usually, the past few weeks, we've been doing 5 picks pick our favorite 5 a game. We all 3 agree on it. Hasn't really been working out so well. Week 1, we went 3 for 5. Last week, we only went 2 for 5. Our winners last week were the Eagles at a 0.5 point and the Saints at 2.5.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't want to put them on there. Then we would have been 1 for 5.
It's true. Our losers last week were the Titans, Jags, and Raiders. That wasn't solid picks.
Jags really stunk it up, man. They really stunk it up against the Jets.
But we got some 3 pretty confident picks. What we're going to do is now only go to 3, and we're all just going to pick our 1 lock of the week, whether we agree with it or not. We all got 1 that we're going with. And so, I'll start out. My pick, game I'm most confident in this week is the over in the Cowboys-Packers at 52.5. I think there's going to be a lot of scoring. The Packers defense hasn't been able to stop much this year, and neither has the Cowboys. Aaron Rodgers is going to have himself a day. I think Ezekiel is going to have himself a day. And so I look this game be somewhere in the 30s, go way over 52.5. What about you, Joe? What's your lock this week?
Mine, even though you don't agree with it, I'm taking the Rams -1.5. I really do think this is a big game, like Ty said, for the Seahawks. This is a big game, but I think as we've seen for the Seahawks for the past years, they figure it out later on in the season. They figure out where their holes are. They figure out how to play better. They got some guys. They got some people come back from injury later on in the season. So, but if I'm the Rams here, the Rams have been hot. They've been rolling. They've been looking good against every team. I love the Rams here -1.5. I think they have a chance to win this division this year. It's a little early. Maybe I'm jumping the gun, but I think they're looking good so far.
I am about the Jets.
Oh my God!
I think the Jets will win this week.
No.
It is a guaranteed lock.
Oh my!
They are beating the Browns.
Don't bet on bad teams.
Take it
Come on,
to the
Tom.
bank.
Don't
Josh
bet on bad
McCown, future Hall of Fame quarterback.
teams. What?
Wow.
Robbie Anderson, who might be the second best receiver in the league outside of Odell Beckham.
What is going on?
Wow.
Don't bet
I'm just
bad
kidding.
teams. Come on,
I've
man.
sold on the Jets, though. Leave the Jets.
Bobby Anderson is Temple's own. So we got to show love for TU. You always do that, but
Don't forget about Jermaine Kearse either.
Jets.
Bold, very
Hey.
bold.
3-2.
I'm with it.
Yeah.
Jets, Jets.
Never hear me say that.
All right, so our 3 locks for the week are the over 52.5 in the Cowboys. I guess the Rams -1.5 against the Seahawks.
And then the most confident pick is the Jets. Go Jets.
Jets at a pick'em on the road. They're gonna win the game.
I think they're gonna win. They're definitely gonna win the game. Khalil is in a good matchup this week. That's a great game for fantasy. If you have anybody on the Jets or the Browns, I think it's gonna be people are gonna have to score a lot of points on both sides.
All right, guys. That's our locks for the week. Winding down here. We're going to go into our last segment, something we introduced last week. It's called What's on Our Mind? Where we just talk about anything basically besides football we want to talk about. Sports world. Last week we talked about Joe Embiid, some issues with the Cards. Talked about a lot of different things. So what's on your guys' minds today? What you want to talk about?
Mine is I saw Josh Norman's out for a month.
Right.
So how about that?
Anything but what happened to that? Yeah, Norman's out 4 weeks with some broken ribs.
Not looking good for the Skins. They're going downhill now.
We're coming
They're lucky it was a bye week this
perfect
week.
week for the bye. Then we have the Niners, which is a winnable game. And then we're gonna bust the Eagles' ass on Monday Night Football.
Yeah,
so
with no starting corner.
yeah,
I
Too bad
live with Rashawn Breeland.
Rashawn Breeland.
Rashawn Breeland than any cornerback you guys have on the field.
That's a lie.
Not top.
Ron
15
Darby's
corner.
gonna be
Don't
back.
believe the hype.
Ron
Not top
Darby's going to
15
be back
corner.
week 7. We 2-0 against the Skins.
Kendall
Yeah.
Fuller is better than any quarterback you have on the field right now.
You see, that's very funny, Tyler, because you guys are 2-2 and we guys beat you. That's all that matters.
Feel good about it. Feel good about
First
it.
place.
Let them talk about that. What's on my mind is the Fly Boys. We started
Yeah.
We started
Let's go.
2 nights ago. The season opener. They look good. Wayne Simmons, the hat trick. I see you, stud. It did not look good last night against the Kings, but I mean, it's the Kings. The Kings looked okay. Didn't really look great last night. But I'm on board. I think what was his name? Nolan Patrick. Nolan Patrick's looking good. Provorov's looking good. I don't know. I'm into the Flyers so far.
I'm on the Flyers too. The Flyers always look good. Against the Sharks, came out. The offense was going. Drew got a goal early. It's nice to see him. He's playing left wing now, so it's nice to see him get a goal early. Simmer had a ghost. He had a power play. He had this beautiful slap shot went off Simmons' shin pad apparently. Got that one in, and then Simmons had another beautiful tip in. Got the empty netter for the hat trick. So it was a real big opening game victory against the Sharks. Last night against the Kings, they were down 1-0 most of the game. Jonathan Quick stood on his head. They were dominating the third period. What are you going to do? Sometimes goalies are going to win the game for you.
How about the best Elliott in Philadelphia? Brian Elliott, not Jake Elliott. Brian
Yeah,
Elliott.
Brian
He's
Elliott
looking
had
good. He gave up. I don't care that he gave up. But he gave up 3 goals against the
Yeah.
Sharks. One of them was like a weird, I don't know. He gave up 2 really weird goals.
Yeah, one was like a stick deflection.
It was off a skate or so, off a defender's skate. I like Brian Elliott. He's looking like a good goalie this year.
Another thing we should talk about. Joe Embiid is officially
Clear for
cleared.
5 on 5. We're ready.
Good.
It's time to trust that process out there.
Things looking good.
That's looking good. Ben Simmons.
By the-
Wow.
Markel didn't look as hot.
Real quick.
Struggles shooting a little bit.
We'll figure it
Real
out.
quick here. Joe's laptop's dying, so we gotta get off the air soon.
Yeah,
2%.
2%, but we're working with it.
Last thing we want to talk about It's playoff baseball. It's back.
Oh, it's back.
Yankees and D-backs both won the wild card games. Yankees lost last night, and the Red Sox lost last night to the Astros. Red Sox Astros playing right now. It's 2-1 It's 2-1 Astros. I'm sorry. Let me see what's going on. Carlos Correa hit a 2-1 bomb.
Because they have 2 big with 3 home runs.
Yeah, I'm too big.
Crazy.
Yeah, and so
Last night.
we got Jackie Bradley with an early RBI for the Red Sox. So 2-1 bottom of the second. Look for that. Real quick though, let's get World Series predictions. Who's going to the World Series and who's winning?
Ooh.
Joe, you're first.
You put me on the spot like that. I'm taking. This is tough because I want to say. So I'm going with the Cubs here. I like the Cubs over the Nationals. Like they're gonna win for sure.
Who's going to the World Series?
I'm
not
not-
the series. You're going to the World Series.
I just started thinking about it. It just came out yesterday. I'm taking the Indians. Indians Cubs again. Let's roll with that for now.
Who's winning?
It's gonna be the Indians this year.
Who you got, Ty?
Astros, Dodgers.
What?
Go Astros.
I got Cubbies, Astros. Cubbies in 6. They're winning back to back. They didn't win 110 years. They're winning 2 in a row.
We'll give you our World Series, our actual World Series predictions next week.
These are my actual World Series predictions. I've been predicting the Cubs winning the World Series all season. I think the Astros. I thought it was gonna be a matchup between Indians and Cubs again. I'm on board with the Astros. I think Verlander is the difference maker. I think Dallas Keuchel and Verlander is a great 1-2 punch. They have all the offense in the world they need with Springer, Altuve, Carrera. They're set, and I really think that
Brian McCann bats 9 for them.
Yeah, I think the Astros are in a really good position right now, and I got the Cubbies winning it all. Though I think they're just too much. Though I think Joe Madden's the best manager in baseball. I think the Cubbies get it done. So, yeah.
Stick with the Indians. I like the Indians this year. Stick with my boy Kluber.
And just the special side bet, if anyone wants to know, Cubbies plus 150. They're playing the Nats tonight. Kyle Hendricks is on the mound versus Steven Strasburg. I like Hendricks. He had a 3.03 ERA. Strasburg had the best year of his career this season. But what the Nationals do in playoff time. They always fold.
They're Washington. It's a Washington team thing. All Washington teams find a way to fold. You heard it here.
Especially
the skin. And the Wizards too. Like
Take the Cubbies plus 150, and that's that. And that's what's on our mind today. Had enough of these two. Good show there, guys. Have fun. We got a new setup now, so I don't have to do a run up there to hit exit or run the screen.
We see on the comments right before we jump out of here. Thank you from Michael Rivera for commenting, staying involved. Shout out Dave Lewis. I see you at work.
Music video drops today at 6 p.m.
White House.
White House.
Check
Just
it
in
out.
2K.
Congrats on 2K,
Good
Dave.
shit, Dave. All right, this is Bet with the Boys. We'll see you next week.
All right, guys. Shout out to everyone from NGSC Sports again. We are Bet with the Boys. We'll be back 2 p.m. next week. Have a good one, guys. Go win some money.
Take our picks. All right, we're good.
Not
Not yet.
We're working on this.
This is so. See, we tried to figure this part out. It's the hardest part still, though. There we go.
Not yet.